Okay, students, in the earlier classes or videos, we have started the discussion on the orifice, mouthpiece, notches, and vias. Okay, so in the earlier class also we have discussed the classification of orifice, mouthpiece, and also we have derived the derivation for the theoretical velocity and also different types of coefficients, that is the CV coefficient of velocity, CD coefficient of discharge, and CA coefficient of contraction. So these things we have discussed in the earlier videos. So today we will start the discussion on notches and vias. So we have also already discussed, see, the application of weir, notches, orifice, mouthpiece. Okay, why the study of orifice, mouthpiece required, and also notches and vias. Okay, so these study on orifice, mouthpiece, notches, and vias required to know how to measure the rate of flow through the tanks or through the canals, through the channels, or through the natural streams, and also through the pipes. So, orifice and mouthpiece. Okay, orifice and mouthpiece are the mechanical devices used to measure the rate of flow through the tank. And these devices are going to fit either side of the tank or at the bottom of the tank, so which we have discussed. So today, in today's class, we will discuss the notches and vias. Notches and vias are also the measuring devices, or the mechanical devices which are to be used to measure the rate of flow through the open channels or the canals or the natural streams or drains. Okay. For example, see, suppose if you have a canal system, the practical applications where the notches are required. Suppose this is the canal system and this is the main canal. Okay, suppose you have the branches here or branch canal. So let the discharge in the main canal is 5 meter cube per second, and in this distributory it is 2 meter cube per second, and in this distributory it is 3 meter per second. Okay, this 5 meter cube per second, this is the main canal. It means what? It is the capacity of carrying capacity of main canal. Okay, that is carrying capacity of main canal. It means what? The water carrying capacity of the main canal. So this much of water should flow in the main canal, and this water is withdrawn from two branch canals. One, the carrying capacity of one branch canal is 2 meter cube per second. Another branch canal, the water carrying capacity is 3 meter per second. So to ensure whether this main canal is carrying 5 meter cube per second of water or not, similarly to ensure this branch canal whether it is carrying 2 meter cube per second of water or not, similarly this canal, second branch canal, whether it is carrying 3 meter cube per second of water or not. So what then, how we are going to ensure? So this can be ensured by measuring the rate of flow through the main canal or discharge through the main canal, and to measure the discharge through the first branch canal and second branch canal. So as I told, the water carrying capacity of this is 5 meter cube per second. The branch 1 2 meter cube per second, second branch canal is 3 meter cube per second. How to ensure whether these three canals are carrying the required discharge? So to know that, so we are using the notches and wears. So if it is canal system, mainly we are using the notches. Okay, so you can make the use of notch and measure the rate of flow in the main canal, whether it is carrying 5 cubic meter per second of water or not. Similarly, you install one notch in the branch canal 1 and measure the discharge or rate of flow and ensure it is carrying 2 meter cube per second of water. So these are some of the practical applications of notches and wears. Notches and wears are the mechanical devices which are to be used to measure the rate of flow or discharge through the canals, channels, natural streams and natural drains. Okay, so now next we will discuss the classification of notches and wears. The wears and notches. Okay, the wears and notches are classified based on the shape of the notch. Okay, based on the classification of notches and wears. The first classification, it is based on the shape of notches and wears. Based on the shape of the notches and wears. According to this, so we have rectangular shape notches, bar wears or wears. Then we have the triangular notches or wears. Then third one is the trapezoidal shape notches or wears. Then fourth one is the Splitty or stepped notch notches or wears or stepped notches. Okay, so the notches and wears are classified based on the shape. The first classification, according to the shape of the crest of the notch or wear, the notches and wears are classified as rectangular notches, triangular notches, trapezoidal notches and wears, stepped notches and wears. Then according to second classification, according to the effect of sides of the notches and wears. So according to this, we have two types of notches or wears, that is the end contraction and notches without end contraction. Okay, notches, first classification according to the effect of sides, notches with end contraction, notches without end contraction. Okay, this is according to the effect of sides of the notches. Then similarly, according to the end effect, the wears are classified as the rectangular wear. Again, this is notches. Wears also rectangular wear, triangular wear, trapezoidal wear, step wear. Okay, so this is the classification of notches and wears. This is according to the end effect of the size. So the end effects, it may be the end may be the contraction, that is notches with end contraction, notches without end contraction. So these are about the classifications of notches and wears. Notches and wears are the mechanical devices used to measure the rate of flow through the open channel or in the channels or in the natural drains or in the any flow stream. So wherever you require to measure the rate of flow, but this is through the open channel flow. Okay, there is the difference between open channel flow and flow through the closed conduits. So now we have already discussed the flow through the closed conduits, or in the next unit we are going to discuss the flow through the conduit. Then the flow through the open channel we will discuss in the next semester. There you will come to know what is the major difference between the flow through the open channels and flow through the closed conduits. Okay, so now next we will discuss the rectangular notch and we will derive the discharge equation. Okay, next is discharge over rectangular notch. Okay, NOTCH. Let us take this figure. Suppose this is the channel, the flow is like this. Okay, you take this sketch, and this is the sill of the notch, and let the height above the sill up to the free surface. This is the free surface of flow. Free surface flow. It means what? Free surface flow means this fluid, it is exposed to the atmosphere. Okay, so the height between the sill, so this is the sill of the notch, so this height is h. Okay, this height is h. This is the longitudinal section. So now you let us take a cross section at the sill. So it is to be like this, cross section at the sill. That is cross section at this point. Okay, at the sill of the notch. So let L is the length of the notch. Let L is the length of the notch. So you can consider a small strip. And this strip is at a height of h, small h, from the free surface. Okay. So the thickness of this, let it be dh. Let it be dh. Okay. So now capital H, what? Let H is height of water above sill level of notch. Then L is what? L is the length of length of sill, length of sill of the rectangular notch. Now, okay, this figure A is a longitudinal section of the notch. Okay, in this longitudinal section we have marked H, capital H, as the height of fluid in the rectangular notch over the sill of the notch up to the free surface. Okay, this is the cross section what we have taken at the sill level of the notch. Okay, so this figure 2 is the cross section, then figure 1 is the longitudinal section. Now let us consider a small strip. Let us consider a small strip of length L, and thickness dh, Okay, so therefore area of strip. Now what is the area of strip? Area of strip is what? L into dh, length into height. Okay, so you can call this as equation 1. Now in the last class we have derived the theoretical velocity. Theoretical velocity is what? Is equal to square root of 2gh, is 2gh. Let dq is the discharge, that is practical discharge or actual discharge, bar actual discharge passing through small strip, Therefore dq is equal to what? A into V, that is from the continuity equation. Discharge is equal to cross-sectional area into velocity. What is the cross-sectional area? It is L into dh. What is the theoretical velocity? 2gh. So from this equation we are getting the dq, the discharge through the small strip. It is not the actual discharge, it is the theoretical discharge. And the right hand side, the whatever velocity you are getting, it is also not actual velocity, it is the theoretical velocity. So now to get the actual discharge, that is dq is equal to, you multiply by coefficient of discharge. So as we have already discussed the definition of the coefficient of discharge, L dh square root of 2gh. Okay, now this is the actual discharge passing through the small strip. Now the actual discharge passing over the sill up to the height h. So you integrate equation 2. Next you write to know total discharge passing through sill of notch or weir. This equation holds good for rectangular notch also as well as the rectangular weir. Integrate equation 1 between the limits 0 to q and 0 to h. Okay, dq, this is equal to cd L dh square root of 2gh, integration of this. Okay, So integration of dq 0 to q means this is q. Okay, this is, you take CD is a constant, you take it from the integral sign. L is also constant, that is the length of the rectangular notch. 2g is also constant. So inside the integral sign you are getting h dh, h into integration of h into dh, or q is equal to 0 to h. Limits CD L square root of 2g. So I can write this integration of h dh. So this is h means it is square root of h. So integration of h raised to half dh between the limits 0 to h. Now q is equal to CD L square root of 2g. Integration of h raised to half is h, that is half plus 1, 3 by 2 divided by 2 by 3 means what? 2 by, this is 3 by 2 between the limit 0 to h. Between the limits 0 to h, or q is equal to q actual equal to this 3 by 2 means you take, if you are going to take it to the up, this is 2 by 3 CD L root 2g h raised to 3 by 2. So this is the discharge equation for the rectangular channel. Q actual is equal to 2/3 CD L square root of 2 into g h raised to 3 by 2. So this is the actual discharge over the rectangular notch or rectangular weir. So whenever you will visit the fluid mechanics lab, and I hope you are getting this lab in 5th semester, so that time you are supposed to conduct the experiments on the rectangular notch and also on the rectangular weir. So to get the actual discharge through the rectangular notch or weir, you find or you use this equation, Q actual equal to 2/3 CDL root 2G h raised to 3 by 2. Okay, so this is about the rectangular channel section. Now, so any questions or any doubts you can ask by sending the questions either to me or to Professor Water or Professor Sandeep in any mode. Okay, if you have any questions, you can directly contact either me or Professor Sandeep Water, so that we will clarify your doubts or problems or difficulties. Okay, so this is a very simple derivation. That is, this is the rectangular notch, longitudinal section of the rectangular notch. So we have taken the cross section of the notch. So in the, this is the cross section, length is L, and we have considered a small strip of thickness DH and length L. Okay, then the area of this strip is equal to L into DH. The theoretical velocity is square root of 2GH, which we know, we have already derived this equation in the previous class. Then the actual discharge or practical discharge through the notch is dq is equal to CD through the strip is equal to dq. This is the actual discharge. Coefficient of discharge, length of notch, dh is the height of the strip, square root of 2gh. Now, to know the total discharge through the notch or weir, you integrate equation 2. Integrating the equation between the limits 0 to q and 0 to h. So integration of dq is q. Okay, so I add the limit q, upper limit, lower limit is 0. So q is equal to cd into l root 2g integration of square root of h dh, or square root of h is equal to half dh. So now integration of h is equal to h 3 by 2 divided by 3 by 2, or it is 2 by 3 cdl square root of 2g h raised to 3 by 2. So this is equation number 3, and this is the final equation to calculate or to know the discharge through the rectangular channel. Okay students, now next we will go to triangular notch. Okay, students, now we will discuss the discharge over the triangular notch. Okay, so in the previous discussion we have considered the shape of the notch or weir is the rectangular weir or rectangular notch. Okay, the shape of the notch or weir we have considered as rectangular. So in the second derivation, or in this derivation, we will consider the shape of notch or weir is triangular in shape. Okay, so triangular in shape. Okay, let us refer this figure 1. Let us refer this figure 1. Okay, this is the triangular notch. Okay, because the shape of this is triangular, because the shape of this notch is triangular. So this is the free surface, this is the free flow surface, and this is the sill of the notch, sill of the triangular notch. Triangular notch. Okay, so now you refer this figure. So h is what? Capital H. H is the height of water above the sill of the triangular notch up to the free surface. Up to the free surface. So capital H is the height of water above the sill up to the free surface. Now let us consider a small strip AB having the thickness DH. The thickness of this small strip is DH at a height small h from the sill. Okay, so this is at a height of small h from the sill. From the sill. Okay, sorry. It is from the free surface. Okay. This strip is below the free surface by h, or above the sill by this distance, that is h minus h. So this height is h minus h. Okay, so let us take this part. Okay, and theta is the centroidal angle of the triangular notch. Theta is the centroidal angle. This is the centroidal angle. So this is the center line of the triangular notch. Okay, so let ACO. Okay, now this angle, it is theta by 2. AC is above the sill. This is the sill. Above the sill by the height h minus h. Okay, now tan theta is equal to tan theta. Okay, so since this is angle theta, we have considered only half of the triangle. So this angle is theta by 2. So tan theta by 2 is equal to AC divided by CU. AC divided by CU or OC. Then AC tan theta by 2 is equal to AC. Then OC is equal to what? This height is h minus h. So it is h minus h. Therefore, AC is equal to h minus h tan theta by 2. So this is the half of the top width. AC gives you the half of the top width. AB is the total top width. AB is total top width of triangular notch. This AB is equal to what? AC plus CB, or it is 2 times AC, because AC is equal to CB. Therefore, AB is equal to 2AC. Okay. Now, to know the discharge through this triangular notch or weir, you consider a small strip AB as shown in figure. Okay, let us consider this small strip. Then the area of strip is equal to what? The area of strip is equal to, this top width is equal to, area of strip is equal to, again 2h minus h dh. Okay, h minus h dh, this is the top width. Okay, that is the area of this strip, that is dh. Okay, top width into height, So tan theta by 2 is equal to AB divided by AC. Therefore, area of strip is equal to half height into top width. So this gives you the area of the strip. Then theoretical velocity is equal to what? Square root of 2gh, which we already know. Now the actual velocity through the strip dq is equal to, you multiply a constant, that is CD, then the area of strip, then the discharge, then the velocity, theoretical velocity. So 2h minus s tan theta by 2 dh, square root of 2gh. This gives you what? This gives you the actual discharge through this strip. Now, to know the actual discharge through the triangular notch, integrate equation 1 between the limits 0 to q and 0 to h. Therefore, integration of dq is q. Okay, integration of right hand side term. So CD is constant. You can take it outside the integral sign. Tan theta by 2 is also constant. You take tan theta by 2 also outside the integral sign. Square root of 2g is also constant. You take that also outside the integral sign. So inside the integral sign, now you have this small h. So it is h raised to half. Then you have this dh. Then h minus h. Or you now integrate this equation 1. Q is equal to 2 CD tan theta by 2 square root of 2g. This is integration of h half dh minus h 3 by 2 dh, and limit is 0 to h. Now you integrate this equation. Okay, that is h integration of h raised to half is h raised to 3 by 2, then this h 3 by 2 plus 1, that is 5 by 2 dh. So you integrating this, you know how to integrate this equation. That is 2q is equal to 2 CD tan theta by 2 square root of 2g. Then this is h raised to 3 by 2. This is 3 by 2 minus h raised to 5 by 2, and this is also 5 by 2, 0 to h, or q is equal to 2 CD tan theta by 2 square root of 2g, then h, then this is h is equal to h, upper limit 3 by 2 divided by 3 by 2, so minus h raised to 5 by 2, this is 5 by 2. Now you simplify this equation. Simplifying simplifying above equation, q actual is equal to, you will get, simplifying the above equation, the q actual is equal to 8 by 15. You just now simplify this. See, this h is equal to, again, 5 by 2, this is minus h 5 by 2, this is 2 by 3, this is 2 by 5. So you simplify this equation. So you are getting 8 by 15 CD tan theta by 2 square root of 2g h raised to 5 by 2. So this is the discharge equation for the triangular notch. That is 8 by 15 CD tan theta by 2 square root of 2g h raised to 5 by 2. So this is the derivation for the triangular notch, and for the rectangular notch it is q actual is equal to 2 by 3 CD L square root of or h raised to 3 by 2. So in the today's class we have discussed, or we have derived two mathematical derivations to find the actual discharge over the rectangular notch or weir, over the triangular notch or weir. The discharge through the triangular notch is 8 by 15 CD tan theta by 2 square root of 2g h raised to 5 by 2. Similarly, the actual discharge through the rectangular channel is 3 by 2 CD L square root of 2g h raised to 3 by 2. Okay, so these are the two mathematical equations we have derived in the today's class to find the actual discharge. Okay, this is the actual discharge through the triangular notch, and q actual is equal to 2 by 3 CD root 2g L h raised to 3 by 2. This is the mathematical expression for the rectangular notch, right? Okay, so please you go through these two mathematical derivations to know the actual discharge through the triangular notch and through the rectangular notch. So you have any problems or any doubts, you are free to discuss, as I have already told. So the actual discharge through the triangular notch is equal to 8 by 15 CD tan theta by 2 square root of 2g h raised to 5 by 2. Then the actual discharge through the rectangular notch is 2/3 CD root 2g. This is L, length of the notch or sill, h raised to 3 by 2. You please go through these two derivations and we will solve some 2 or 3 numerical problems on this. Okay, thank you.